Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for allowing me to come into your life for the next few minutes. I hope you find my voice somewhat inspirational, a little motivational. It just gives you another way of looking at things. And with that being said, listen, let's jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope all is well. I hope everyone here and around the world are being safe. They're taking care of their families. They're taking care of yourself, because I know we are swimming around in uncharted territories, unfamiliar waters. And this COVID-19 coronavirus has everyone on their heels and trying to figure this thing out and staying safe. And what we're trying to do is just keep this thing at bay. This dragon is a beast, and we're trying to figure it out. All right, listen, on today's show, what I want to do is I want to give you a little update, or at least my personal update and my feelings in terms of what's happening around the country, what's happening around the world, the reopening and the softening of some of the restrictions, the executive orders that we've had. I want to touch base on that, give my opinions, and then the second part of it, I want to go over a few things that's been on my mind, multitasking, and I'll give you my version of what's been going on in my life, and things have been happening. And maybe I'll give you some suggestions and just give you an idea about the multitasking. And last but not least, I am working on a project. I want to dedicate it to my father. I want you to understand that I always talk about my mother, and because you spend a lot of time with your mom. But dads, and this is it's not a pity party, but dads sometimes take a back seat, and I want to give my guy his just due. So that's how we're going to do it. All right, so moving along. I've been paying attention. I've been watching the news. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to cite all, the news feeds and everything that's going on. And people are telling you about soft openings and we're going to reopen the country. I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to bash the president of the United States. Whether you voted for him, you didn't vote for him. I'm not going to sit here and play that game, because I think that just feeds into that whole political, my guy, your guy, he's doing a good thing, he's doing a bad thing. I'm not doing that. My concern is the well-being of the citizens of the United States. And yes, here's the argument. There are lots and lots of areas in this country that are spread out. I even might have used the word incorrectly a while back, but a lot of countries are spread out, and the tri-state areas on the East Coast and the West Coast and the major cities, everybody's living on top of each other. So their experience with this thing is a little different than ours. And what happens is, I had a friend of mine when I was in the military, and he had never been to the East Coast, and we had just came back from Desert Storm. And I called home and I said, listen, Mom, I'm bringing somebody home for the weekend. And he's never been in, to New York and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we go. And I'll never forget, as we were coming in and we were coming home, and he says, hey, oh my God. He says, LB, look, man, you guys live on top of each other. I was like, wow. Yeah, he was from the Midwest somewhere. I forget what state it was. One where there's horses in your backyard, I guess, something like that. But long story short is, so they have different experiences. So they are starting to soften up and open up, and they're questioning why they have to keep continuing on with these restrictions, and the so-called numbers are going down. We kind of peaked this thing, and so forth and so on. My biggest problem is I can't understand why people are rallying, why people are being disrespectful. There was one segment where I seen a guy went toe to toe with a health aide, a nurse, a healthcare provider, a nurse. And I don't know if he was doing it for show. I mean, I don't know what's on some people's mind. But this woman is out there battling, saving people's lives, and you're standing there toe to toe and protesting and asking her why. Why can't we go out? Why can't we do? And I just found that just totally unnecessary, and quite honestly a little disrespectful. That's the same thing with your first line defense, your public servants, firemen, police officers, nurses, and people get angry with them and just be so disrespectful. And I've said it all the time, even in law enforcement, even, the bad guy, he wants to yell and moan and groan and cry. But when he's in trouble, who's the first person that they call? Who's the first person that they call? I need a fireman. I need a police officer. Hell, I need a doctor. I need a nurse. So, I don't want to go off on a tangent. So I just found that to be disrespectful. So bottom line is these soft openings, I'm not too keen on it. My only take on that here is I don't think we're ready to do the happy dance. I really don't. The happy dance is there. I'm excited. I do feel a sense of doing a good job as we have been. I know it's quiet. I know it's a new normal, but I feel good about it. But I don't think we are ready to be doing a happy dance. So I still think we should continue to keep taking the precautions that we are, just social distancing and wearing your mask. I'm a little up in the air in the gloves thing because you can get contaminated, touch this, touch that. But the mask, social distancing, big. So that's my take. I think they should wait a little bit longer because this thing could come back. There's still a lot of unanswered questions. So just be cautious. If you're on the side of being smarter than the average bear, I would just hold off and take care of yourself and your family. That's what I would do. Okay. All right. So now listen. Moving on. I've been thinking about this quite a bit, and here's what's happening. I know everybody's saying you got all this free time. We're quarantined. We're inside the house. Spend time with your family. Play games. Watch movies. Read a book. Write a book. Work on that project you've been putting off for so long. Meditate, all those kinds of things. And the funny thing is that I'm not an authority on this, and I am not a doctor. Please, here's one thing that I was scared to touch base, but I'm going to jump out anyway because it might go in line with my topic here. What's happening, I've been noticing too. I've been watching the news. I've been listening on the radio. I listen to a couple podcasts. There's a quiet little conversation that a lot of people aren't having right now, and that's the anxiety that people are having from being inside. Now, again, let me listen. Here's my disclaimer. I'm not a doctor. I have no PhDs. I have no certificates in terms of mental health, but what I will tell you, my last profession, I had taken some courses. I had some, skills in terms of how to help people and so forth and so on. First responder kind of stuff. But nobody's talking about the anxiety that people are having being cooped up inside of the house. You can do it for a while. We've all had a cold or even the flu, and you've been in for a week, 10 days, but continuously for a month and a half, 6 weeks, 7 weeks. So I'm just going to put a little disclaimer out there. People, if you're struggling with being inside and it's really getting next to you, I would suggest that you call somebody. I'm sure there's a lot of hotlines out there. I know a lot of doctors aren't taking on patients in their office, but get on the phone, talk to somebody. And I'm going to tell you this here right now. Don't talk to a family member. If that's your last resort, because they love you. They're going to be biased. They have their own opinions. Talk to a professional and just kind of express what's going on in your life. And because it's something that we're not talking about, and people are having anxiety about it. And one of my quick fixes, I'm telling you right now, get outside. Go in your backyard, get in your car, and if you're good to go, take a walk down the park, drive in your car. I mean, do some of those things that are kind of close to normal that you were doing before. And the thing is, seek some help if you're really getting to that point. Please, my prayers go out to anybody that's kind of struggling. And that's a conversation that needs to be had too. They're touching base on it a little bit. I think they're more worried about reopening than worried about somebody's mental state right now, and I don't think that's a good thing. So let's pay attention to that. So now, I went off a little bit there. It's important stuff to me. I told you what's on my mind. I'm just going to speak to it. And that leads into my next segment here, multitasking, having all this free time on your hands. And I will tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, here is a kicker. All right? Here is a kicker. I know I might be throwing a lot at you today. Here is a kicker. You will never again, God forbid, unless it was something tragic or something beyond your control, as this thing is, have this much time to yourself to recalibrate, to reset, to redesign, whatever adjective, whatever word works for you, because this is an opportunity to take advantage of that. You will never have this time again where you can stay up till midnight and sleep till 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, stay up till 2 o'clock, don't get up till 11 o'clock, as my kids are doing. So take advantage of it. However, I'm having a little issue, and one of my issues is I have so many projects going on. I don't know, for all you creative people, and it doesn't have to be the arts. I mean, creative could be anything. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, you're working on cases, you're working on business, you're being creative and trying to be productive. At one point in time, everybody said, oh my God, multitask, man. I can do this, I can do that. I'm every woman. All right, slow down. All right, that's not what it is. So now they're recalibrating and saying the best thing for you to do is to focus on one thing at one time. And that makes a whole lot of sense to me, because you can dedicate most of your time and come out with a good product, good idea, good intentions, as opposed to being all over the place. And that's what I was suffering from, because I have the creative mind that I have. Everything goes all over the place. But here's the deal. I'm going to give you a short list, and I want you to decipher what's happening. All right, okay, these are the things that are going on, that are spinning around in my head, and you're going to tell me how you're going to handle all these things at one time. Okay, I have the podcast that I have to continuously talk to you fine people here around the world, which I love. I thank you for listening. Please send in your responses. Okay, I have a book that I'm working on. I came up with a T-shirt idea that I want to dedicate to my father, which is in progress. I have to work on my website, which needs some cleaning up. I have another short story I'm working on. My logo I just got. I have a blog that I need to work on. I have content for new shows, social media. I have my business, LBJ Media Production, LLC. I got to work on that. I have the T-shirt. And then just to throw in a little hook, I have my real estate referral license that I have to renew every so often and pay attention to. It's a lot of stuff. How can you focus on all of those things at one time? You can't. How can you do this one today, that one today? You got to slow down, write stuff down, write your list. My wife does that. She writes a list down, and I said to myself, what are you doing? But as time has gone on and I pay attention to her, even in her own little quiet little way, she gets shit done. She goes down block. And by the end of the day, by the end of the week, I look and she's got all these things scratched up. I said, you did all that? She says, yeah. One thing at a time. So I found that to be real interesting. So ladies and gentlemen, with all this free time you have and everything you can do, don't bog yourself down by trying to be and do too much at one time. Multitasking is overrated. It's been revised. They want everybody to be productive. Whoop, slow down. No, do this. Don't do that. Go here. Go there. Sit down over here. Don't go over there. So they want you to do all those kinds of things, and now they just revised it. So just pay attention. That was just on my mind. I wanted to share that with you. All right. So listen, one last thing I want to get to here. I also another project I'm working on again, which I have I not on a back burner, but I kind of pick at it. I have a little story that I'm dedicating to my father. And like I said, moms get the pass. They spend a lot of time with you. They're home, the kids. Dad doesn't get a bad rap, but dad just does have to go out and bring home the bacon. If mom's not working. And this is not, listen, I'm not chauvinistic. I'm not old school. Listen, women, God bless you. We need you. If you have to work, and if you're a single mom or you're married and you're out there doing your thing, God bless you. This is not a knock on any of that. You'll never hear me say keep them barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. Get the heck out of here. That's old school. That's dumb school. But what happens is, in my time, my mom was home. She took care of the kids. We came home. She didn't work. She was there for lunch. She took care of the house. We always had clean clothes and so forth and so on. And Dad was out of the house. So who did we go to? We went to Mom. Ma. Dad puts a key in the door. He's coming home from work. Hey, Dad. Dad comes in, takes a shower, eats dinner, goes sits on the couch, fall asleep, get up tomorrow, do it all over again. So we spent a lot of time with Mom. However, the point I'm trying to get to is there's a lot of things that I've been thinking about. Both my parents are gone, so I was thinking about my dad and thinking about all the good times that I've had with him and all all the things that he taught me. And I'm not saying the fact that my father didn't have to chastise me more than once. I wasn't a bad kid, but I was no angel. And so Dad had to step in and discipline me, and thank God he did. Just give me some insight and a couple whacks here and there. Nowadays you can't do that. But I was thinking about him, and I'm working on something that I hope I really do him some justice and me some justice in terms of dreams deferred. Because as I say a lot of times, and I give you a lot of positive motivating stuff and things are going on in our lives, both your parents, they had dreams. But what happens is, in a short story, and it'll come out later on, I share some stories about my mom and my dad, that, we all have goals, dreams, aspirations, but then what happened, life also jumps in. In between all of that, there's life. In between all that, things happen, and you don't think about it. And next thing you know, you have one child. We're getting married. We have two. Turn around your head, you got four. So you have to put a lot of those dreams on a back burner. And when the project comes out, I want you to get into it. I'm an analogy kind of guy. So I make a few analogies, which actually make a whole lot of sense as I sit back and review my work. So I'm working on a project dedicated to my dad. And, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not looking for it to be a New York bestseller and all that stuff. It's just my personal tribute and ode to my father. And I want him and anybody that decides to pick it up, I want them to kind of get to know what he was all about. And believe me, as many times I talk about, people say, you're just like your mother, you picked up your mom. I got a lot of my father's traits too. I really do. And I think he deserves his props in terms of what he's done for his children. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, I actually probably didn't go totally the way I want to, but that's okay. I think I put out some good stuff. I hope I didn't bore anybody. I'm glad that you stopped in for a few minutes. Thank you for allowing me to come into your life for the last few minutes. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. And come back. Please listen. I am out there. I am on Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. Check me out on my email, lbjtheheartfelttruth@gmail.com. Please, people, reach out for me. Send me your comments. If you want to hear anything, that's fine. Let me know. Also, I have a Patreon account, which kind of helps out with the program. And also, part of the proceeds I do want to dedicate to the Parkinson's Foundation. And also, I'm looking forward to getting into the Kidney Foundation, which both those things affected my parents. So actually, I always try to explain in my disclaimer, it's not about making money. You're just doing this because of the love and the beauty of sharing and paying it forward. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you go. But just do me one favor. Please stay safe, keep your family safe, and take care of yourself. Take care of your families, because family is important. And if you see somebody that needs a helping hand, please stick yours out. Try to help them if you can. I know for a fact that this one thing will help you on your journey to becoming the best person that you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm LBJ. You're there, and I'm here. And you've been listening to the heartfelt truth. We'll talk again.